Hi everyone, and welcome back to Conquering Math, where it all adds up. When we're dealing with ratios, we're very often trying to find equivalent ratios because it helps us solve some sort of problem, and ratio tables are a great way to help ourselves stay organized. Now, this might be a review for many of you, but in this lesson we do spend a little more time using fractions and decimals within the ratio tables, so I definitely think it'll be worth your while. Alright, let's get started. So our learning target today is I can use ratio tables to find equivalent ratios and solve real-world problems. So you might recall that two or more ratios that describe the same relationship are equivalent. We can multiply or divide all the quantities in a ratio by the same value in order to find an equivalent ratio. And as I said earlier, ratio tables can be useful to help us organize equivalent ratios. So let's take a look at example number 1. We need to find the equivalent ratios by filling in the missing values in the ratio table. So we have our first ratio here of 162.5 miles to 6.5 gallons. And in the next column we see that we have 13 gallons. So we know that we need to multiply by 2 to get from 6.5 to 13. And if we multiply 162.5 by 2, we get 325. Now, in the final column, we have 812.5 miles. If we go back to the first column, we see that we need to multiply by 5. And if we multiply 6.5 gallons by 5, we get 32.5 gallons. So the equivalent ratios are 162.5 miles to 6.5 gallons, 325 miles to 13 gallons, and 812.5 miles to 32.5 gallons. So in example number 2, we again will find the equivalent ratios by filling in the table. So this time we have a ratio of $27 to 6 pounds. And to get from $27 to $2.25, we need to divide by 12. That means we divide 6 pounds by 12, and we have half of a pound, or 0.5 pounds. Now, we can always go back to the original ratio, but this time let's start with our new ratio of $2.25 to half a pound. And if we multiply by 2.4, we get 1.2 pounds. And if we multiply $2.25 by 2.4, we get $5.40. So the equivalent ratios are $27 to 6 pounds, $2.25 to half a pound, and $5.40 to 1.2 pounds. Okay, so let's apply this to a realistic problem. Hannah decides to make a fizzy orange drink by mixing 1/3 cup of orange juice and 1/2 cup of seltzer. The drink is such a hit that she makes 5 gallons, or 80 cups, for an upcoming party. How much orange juice and seltzer will Hannah need? So let's break down Hannah's problem. The original mix had 1/3 of a cup of orange juice, 1/2 of a cup of seltzer, and we're not sure about the total number of cups when we mix them together. We'll definitely need to figure that out. Her big batch is going to have an unknown number of cups of orange juice and seltzer, but we know it'll have 80 total cups. So this time when we make our ratio table, we'll have 3 rows. We'll have the orange juice at 1/3 of a cup, the seltzer at 1/2 of a cup, and when you add those together, you get 5/6 of a cup of orange drink. What we need to do is strategize a little bit here. We need to get to 80 total cups. So if we get the orange drink to a whole number of cups, it'll be easier to get to 80. So if we multiply that by 6, then we get 5 total cups of orange drink. When we multiply the orange juice and the seltzer by 6, we get 2 cups of orange juice and 3 cups of seltzer. Now to get to 80 cups, we need to multiply 5 by 16, which gets us 80 cups. And then when we multiply 2 and 3 by 16, we get 32 and 48. Hannah will use 32 cups of orange juice and 48 cups of seltzer to make 5 gallons of her fizzy orange drink for the party. Okay, now it's time for you to give it a shot. Find the equivalent ratios by filling in the missing values in the ratio table. Pause the video, solve this for yourself, and then unpause it when you're ready. Okay, you ready? So we have 2.5 kilometers in 4 hours, and we need to get to 16 hours by multiplying by 4. 2.5 times 4 gives us 10 kilometers. Now we need to get to 1.25 or 1¼ kilometers. So what we'll do is we'll divide the original 2.5 by 2, which means then we divide 4 hours by 2, and we get 2 hours. So the equivalent ratios are 2.5 kilometers to 4 hours, 10 kilometers to 16 hours, and 1.25 kilometers to 2 hours. After Hannah's fizzy drink was such a hit, Adam decides to make his own recipe. Adam crafts his first batch by mixing 3/4 cup of his favorite sports drink and half a cup of seltzer. He loves it and decides to make 10 gallons, or 160 cups, to keep in his fridge. How much of the sports drink and seltzer will he need? Pause the video, work this one out for yourself, and unpause it when you're ready to go. Okay, let's break this down again. So Adam used 3/4 cup of sports drink and half a cup of seltzer, and we need to find the total number of cups in the original mixture. Then we can use that to find how much sports drink and seltzer he needs to make his big batch of 160 total cups. So we'll set up the ratio table, and we have 3/4 cup of sports drink plus half a cup of seltzer, and when you add those together, you get 1¼ cups of the fizzy sports drink, and we'll use the improper fraction 5/4 cup to help us with the multiplication. Once again, we need to get a whole number in order to then step up to 160 total cups. So our first step, we'll multiply by 4, and then we'll have, once again, 5 cups of the fizzy sports drink. Now when we multiply the other two numbers by 4, we get 3 cups of sports drink, 2 cups of seltzer. Now we need to get to 160 total cups, so we'll multiply by 32. 3 times 32 is 96, and 2 times 32 is 64. So Adam will use 96 cups of sports drink and 64 cups of seltzer to make 10 gallons of his fizzy sports drink for the party. Today you learned to use ratio tables to find equivalent ratios and solve real-world problems. Remember that you can multiply or divide all quantities in a ratio by the same value in order to find equivalent ratios. Thanks for watching this episode of Conquering Math. You can subscribe by clicking the button below, and you'll get access to more videos as soon as they're posted. You can also head over to conqueringmath.com to find guided notes for this video and to check out all the materials that I have available. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.